Hey you guys, it's your girl Lady Miracle and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the singer Mýa Harrison. What happened to her? What happened to her career? She was on top of her game and next thing you know, you didn't hear nothing from her. Was it the music industry? Was it something that she wanted to do on her own? Let's find out. But before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and also share this video. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to know the next time I upload a new video. So let's get into Mýa. Mýa Marie Harrison was born on October 10, 1979 in Washington, D.C. She is one of the 3 children and she comes from a musical family. Her father, Sherman, who is a black musician and singer, and her mother, Teresa, is an Italian-American as an accountant. As a child, she previously began learning ballet and dance when she was only 2 years old and jazz and tap when she was 4. Mýa sometimes had to endure insensitive comments about her ethnic background, but her accomplishments as a dancer helped her with her transition and peer pressure. By the age of 15, Mýa's musical side took over, and she would practice every day to perfect her voice. Once her father realized his daughter was serious about a career in music, he began shopping her demo tape, eventually catching the interest of University Music President and CEO Hawk Islam. After graduating from Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Greenbelt, Maryland at 16, she signed with Interscope Records. Mýa spent the next 2 years recording her debut album. Using his connections, Islam was able to hire an elite team of collaborators to work with her, including Missy Elliott, Babyface, Diane Warren, Drew Hill, Dara Pearson, and Silk the Shocker. The company envisioned to market Mýa as their main female R&B artist, competing with the fellow teen singers Brandy, Monica, and Aaliyah. In April 1998, she released her self-titled album, Mýa, and peaked at number 29 on the U.S. Billboard 200 and sold 1.4 million copies. Mýa yielded these successful singles It's All About Me featuring Cisco, which became a top 10 hit on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, also Moving On, and My First Night With You. In addition to her career, she was also working along with Blackstreet, Blinky Bling, and Mace on the song Take Me There from the soundtrack of the animated feature film The Rugrats movie. She also appeared in A Ghetto Superstar with Old Dirty Bastard and became a huge hit. Also, one of her most successful songs was her breakthrough single Case of the X, What You Gonna Do, following her collaboration with Lady Marmalade with Pink, Christina Aguilera, and Lil' Kim. She became a global superstar and on top of her game. So, what happened? Now, earlier in her career, as I mentioned before, her record label wanted her to compete with Brandy, Monica, and Aaliyah, right? So let's talk about them for a second. Brandy is believed to sold the most music out of all of them. She had the most innocent or girl next door image. She was heavily controlled by her mother, father, and record label, and they strived to have a clean-cut reputation. They actively kept her away from the controversy. She was also the most mainstream sound of them all. Her songs appealed to mainstream R&B pop radio that were played constantly on both formats. Brandy was marketed to both R&B and pop audiences, giving her a wider base of fans. Monica was viewed by some as rough around the edges with a clearly hip-hop influenced sound and was marketed as such. Her image was more mature than Brandy's, but not as mature as Aaliyah's. As she aged, she ventured more into straight R&B music and her image cleaned up a bit. She simply had the problem of being compared to Brandy and Aaliyah constantly and always sort of being the third wheel of the group. Aaliyah had more of a mature sound, which included R&B, hip-hop, and rap elements to her music. She was marketed as a more mature artist and had the benefits of producers like Missy Elliott and Timbaland helping to mold her career. She was never introduced to the world as a pop, innocent, bubbly person. She was more of a mature type person that actually came out that ended up being one of the best out there. and she was only a teenager. Mýa came into the scene later on than the other three and tried to live up to that standards. She was the R&B and pop vibe herself, but I think it was a little bit harder to get into it at that time when you had other artists that was already saturating that genre. However, Mýa was an amazing dancer and overall great performer. She sung sweet, lightly, and was able to reach to the point where the others was, but unfortunately, she didn't make it so much later on in the music industry. She had record label issues and never seemed to be able to reach the same level of popularity as the other three had. So imagine all that pressure on Mýa trying to be able to create hit records, stay stable, and at the same time compete to three of the hottest artists out there at that time. Now with all this could fall into how she got caught up in drama and rumors. As you know, Mýa collaborated with many big artists at the time, but every time she recorded with an eligible bachelor, the tabloids were right there, always trying to connect her with them and trying to put them in a relationship. Now, one of those artists that she collaborated with was Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Mýa met around the year 2000 after Mýa's label reached out to Jay-Z's team to collaborate on The Best of Me Part 2. But they didn't really exactly hit it off. Producer Tone, who makes up half of Trap Masters, who's also produced the song, told Complex in a 2012 interview that Jay-Z was almost immediately turned off by Mýa's vibe. He said, so Jay came to the studio that night at the Hit Factory. He got it right away. He understood what it was, but didn't like Mýa's vibe in the room. He looked at her like she was a spoiled brat because she was. Jay looked at her like, I'm about to rap on your record. You about to have a hit, and I don't think you appreciate it. Annoyed, Jay-Z reportedly left the studio with the producers, telling the singer, yo, Mýa, Jay wants to do the record, but he feels like you're not giving him no love, like no thank you or none of that. Luckily, Jay-Z later came back and finished the song. Many insiders claim that they believe Mýa and Jay-Z was in a relationship, but she shut that down.
It seems like when female singers work with rappers, they try to link them romantically, and years later, another rumor comes up saying that you guys had an affair. Even though you denied it, how does that make you feel for something so old to come back up?
Well, what was old just never existed. So, there was nothing to come back up because it never existed.
Well, the rumors keep surfacing.
Well, I'm in a business that comes with a lot of bullshit. If you sign up to be an entertainer, you have to realize that many things are going to be said about you.
Yeah.
If you exist as a human being in this world, and especially in this world with social media, you're going to be talked about. If you have any type of platform to have a voice. Females, if you have any type of sensuality, sex appeal, or not, you can still get talked about and linked to people that you have never even met, and it is what it is. It comes with the territory. So it really doesn't bother me. If you're in a relationship, it can get a little strange because you have to constantly defend yourself and explain yourself for what really doesn't have to be explained, because it doesn't exist and it never existed. But that's the only thing that I can think of. You get used to it.
So the drama did not stop there. So back in 2005, there were also rumors going around that The Game and Mýa were in a relationship, but she denied that as well. She said she was doing a favor for Dr. Dre and did a video with The Game since he had mentioned her in her song.
Between me and Game, well, let's take it back. I was on Interscope. It was 1998. I got a call from Dre and Jimmy Iovine, as well as Philip Atwell, about Game, not even Game personally, for me to do a video called Dreams. And I made an appearance in that video, and as you guys know, it says I had dreams of cutting the R&B chick like Mýa.
I had dreams of the R&B like Mýa when I saw that ass on the front of that King.
In that video, it was a business move. It was a favor to Dre, and people started making rumors about that. To this day, Game and I are cool. We're friends. We're not an item. I know everybody would love to see me affiliated with a rapper like Khalees and Ashanti and
Beyonce and Sierra and so on and so on. But I'm a single woman. Now at the time, 50 Cent and the Game were going at it. And so 50, you know how petty 50 is. I don't think he changed this then and versus now. But the controversy that came with 50 Cent is when he released that diss track, Not Rich Still Lying, saying, and I got bad bees now, I even F Maya. I F her first, gang. Now, you know Maya couldn't let that pass. She definitely responded to that.
I don't have a relationship with 50, and I never did. I never knew him. I've met him on a couple occasions. I met Lloyd Banks on a couple occasions. I do respond if I feel like I've been disrespected.
Can we get drop?
No, we can't do that.
Why? I mean, he was just bullshit. 50 was bullshit. Oh.
So with all that drama and mess that she probably had to deal with throughout her career, I can understand how much of a headache that can be and how she can kind of be over it. Because with everything going on and people like coming at her and all the rumors and lies that come, I believe at that point she just wanted to separate herself completely. She ended up leaving her record label. She did go to another record label. She left that record label. And now she is an independent artist. So Maya created her own independent record label, Planet 9. After parting ways with her major label, Universal Motown, and following the advice of her mentor, Jay Prince, Harrison established and developed her own independent label with a new business approach in mind to create and release music. Following the events of her fourth studio album, Liberation, began mishandled and accidentally leaked into the internet, she was contracted by a R&B-based Japanese record company, Manhattan Records. Through that label, she exclusively released and self-funded, recorded, and engineered her first independent project, Sugar and Spice, in 2008. 3 years later, she exclusively released the follow-up, the dance and club album, Kiss, Keep It Sexy and Simple, in 2011 through the same label. Since its creation, Harrison, through her label Planet 9, has released 13 independent studio projects. Following the exclusive release in Japan, she recorded and released 3 relatively R&B-rooted EPs, With Love in 2014 and Love Evaluation Suite in 2015. In 2016, she released the Grammy-nominated Smooth Jones. TKO, The Knockout, arrived in 2018 to honor the 20th anniversary of her debut album, Maya, back in 1998. So even though Maya left out of the spotlight, she is definitely coming back in so many ways and more. She just found a different way to approach the situation and to be able to do the things that she loved. Now, we can learn a lot of things from Maya and how the music industry was then and even how it's even compared now, because there were a lot of things that Maya really wasn't wanting to do within her career, but that's what artists have to do now in order to make it. So listen to what Maya had to say about the music industry then and what she went through, and also make your comparison of what the artists are doing now in the music industry.
Can't say that all women are treated unfairly, disrespectfully, but I can say that that happens all over the world in every or any industry, in any circumstances, whether it be personal relationships, in business, etc. You must protect your space, but you don't necessarily know what the agenda is behind someone speaking down to you, at you, etc. There are horrible things that happen every day, whether it be in the industry or not, mentally, emotionally, sexually, financially. And you have to break down your value. You really have to assess that and your standards. And it's very difficult if you don't know it, if you can't identify it regarding what's coming at you. And that takes some time to maybe step away if you walked into this game not knowing who you are and your limitations. There can be power plays and ultimatums given for the people that hold the power, whether that be toward a female or male artist. I often find that a lot of women that I speak to suffer from that, but you really have to you really have to protect what you allow yourself to believe, because it will be fed, whether it be your body image, what you need to change about yourself, how you need to sound, what you need to look like, how you need to dress, who you need to date, what you need to say. You grow into that. If you start early in any game without knowing who you are and being solid in some type of foundation, it's very dangerous for you as an individual. And you have to not be desperate. You have to be willing to say, I'm good, fuck you, and walk away, you know? But if contractually you have no options, that's a living hell, you know? I find it horrific to have to be bind to negative energies. It's unfair, whether you're a male or female. But I would definitely have to say, those in power, you know, that want to abuse it and get off on abusing it, definitely plot on their prey, you know. And you have to be willing to sacrifice anything that you think you might benefit from, a career, etc., and say no, period, and learn how to do it yourself.
So you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video, and I'll catch you guys on my next one. Bye.